Hello YouTube, my name's Wobblerocket and you're watching episode 4 of my Striving for Light Survival Let's Play series. Let's get into it. Today we are going to play with Darokhin. Darokhin is the first character that you unlock in the game. He has some really interesting effects. His attack speed is low, his movement speed is low. He has only one dodge, which can make things a little bit hairy. However, he does have a 20% increased area of effect, and he starts out with the glaring light ability, which means that our melee attacks cast a glaring light. It lasts for 3 seconds, damaging surrounding enemies. The area scales with AoE size, and damage scales with projectile damage. We are going to check out the Forlorn Lands. This is my first time playing this map. You can see that the attack speed for Darokhin is very slow to start out with. So some of our first priorities are going to be picking up movement speed nodes and attack speed nodes so that we can make this a little bit easier to deal with. There's a movement speed node right there. That's perfect. We're also going to be stacking a lot of area of effect abilities this time. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab Burning Hit. And if we get lucky, we'll start seeing some things that we can use with our projectiles. We're going for sort of a fire and ice build here. We're using the Ember weapon, which sets enemies on fire when it damages them. We're also using the ice staff ranged weapon, which freezes enemies whenever it hits them. Because Darokhin's movement speed is so slow to start out with, his dodge is very tricky to use, and it doesn't move very far. Okay, we're going to grab Bursting Wield, and then we'll grab that increased attack speed. I'm really hoping that we can find, yeah, there's another increased movement speed up here. This looks like a pretty good path. We may re-roll that increased melee damage, I'm not really sure. But we'll go up this way so we can grab that increased area of effect as well. The good thing about doing sort of a condition build is that generally we only have to hit enemies once, and then after that we can move away from them and let the damage over time abilities that we have kill the enemy for us. If this is your first time watching Striving for Light Survival, be sure to check out the other videos in my channel. We're going to go ahead and disable this Burning Hit right now, but just because it impacts our attack speed, we'll probably re-enable it later on. Be sure to check out the other videos in my channel. This is the 4th episode of my Striving for Light Survival Let's Play. Last episode, we had a really great run using the Male Unknown Wanderer and the Greatsword. That was a very melee focused build. We also unlocked a brand new character called Halaja, and she will probably be who we use in our next episode. We're gonna grab that increased attack speed and start working our way back up towards this increased movement speed here. That is a really big turtle, which means his area of effect is going to be huge. Actually, not as big as I expected it to be. I expected the area of effect of his ability to be much bigger than that, so that's not too bad. I usually don't grab a lot of health nodes. I do think that with this build, we're going to have to, at least until we get some better movement speed. It's almost impossible to dodge fast enough with Darokhin to be able to avoid the damage that we would otherwise take. Okay, increased area of effect, increased movement speed, and increased area of effect. That is perfect. That is exactly what we want. If we see any projectile damage nodes on the board, we do want to grab them just because they also scale our glaring light ability that Darokhin starts out with. In fact, there's one right here. So we may path up this way, grab double hit, increase attack speed, projectile damage, and then maybe work our way towards meteor blow. That has helped quite a bit with the size of our glaring blow, and as we increase our attack speed, glaring light is just going to trigger a lot faster. It'll be a great way to deal additional damage to enemies in the area. We're going to go ahead and grab this increase attack speed node here. I think I'm going to reroll double hit and see if we can get something a little bit better. In fact, we'll take this max health and then that'll position us to be able to head up in this direction. Our dodging is a little bit easier with the second movement speed node that we've picked up. Of course, we do only have one charge of dodge with Darokhin, which can make things a little bit tricky sometimes. You have to know exactly when to use it and not waste it in a bad spot. Grab some additional attack speed. We're going to go ahead and grab that projectile damage so that we can scale our glaring light. We might start picking up a couple of projectile nodes. Especially since we do have the freeze effect on our ice staff. And if we can grab the poison ability, or maybe some bleeds that trigger off of our projectile damage, that's going to help a lot as well. In fact, there's burning projectiles right there. Go ahead and grab that increase attack speed, and then we'll go down and we'll grab this additional projectiles. There's another projectile node there, and then there's a couple more up this way that we can path into, which will be great because we can grab that increased area of effect as well. We'll also want to start grabbing some of these condition damage increase nodes. Those are going to pull double and triple duty as we start grabbing additional forms of condition damage. Right now we do have the burning that happens off of our burning hit and our Ember weapon. Okay, great. So let's grab increase attack speed, additional projectiles. I may go ahead and pick up another health node sometime soon. I don't really know what to expect from this map, being the first time that I've ever played it, and it looks like the monsters in this map are pretty fast. Given our slow movement speed, that's going to make it a little bit tricky to dodge as effectively as I'd like to. So extra health is definitely going to help us out. There we go. Wasn't sure if we would be able to kill that guy before we ran out of time this round, but we were able to knock him out. Okay, we're gonna grab additional projectiles. We're gonna re-roll this collect range, grab that increased health, and then grab this increased attack speed here. With the extra attack speed nodes that we've picked up, we're really getting to a point where Glaring Light will be active almost all the time, and that's going to be super helpful for chewing down enemies, especially after we grab that additional area of effect node. Okay, we're going to re-roll increased projectile damage, or range. Bursting shot would probably be pretty good because we do have a lot of area of effect and we're just going to pick up even more. There are a ton of added projectiles up this way, plus increased projectile damage. So this is going to be a really, really great path for us to take. It culminates in this projectile multiplicator. That's going to help a lot as well. It might be worth it to pick up one of the projectile speed and range nodes, just because the projectiles from the ice staff are very slow compared to other projectiles in the game. I'm not sure though. It's not a high priority for me. We'll grab one if it ends up being in our way towards something else that we want to grab. Alright, let's start working our way up here. We're going to grab increased projectiles, increased area of effect, and then we're going to start working our way up this path. The size of our Glaring Light is just huge right now, and that means that any enemies in the area of us are just taking damage. And once we grab that additional projectile damage node, that's really going to increase as well. Our projectile, or our Glaring Light's only really dealing about, looks like about 20 to 30 damage every time it hits, but it is dealing that damage to everything in a wide area, which means that regardless of where enemies are positioned and where we're aiming, most enemies that we're encountering are taking some damage. We just picked up 2 more projectiles for our ice staff. The ice staff has a fairly minor slow effect that happens. It's not a major consideration, but it does kind of help slow enemies down, which brings them onto a little bit more of an even footing given our slow movement speed. Even better, the bursting shot abilities that we picked up means that whenever those ice projectiles do hit, a lot of times they are the killing blow on the enemy, and that procs that big explosion. Okay, we're going to grab this increased projectile damage node. Phoenix, this must be another mini boss. This is the first time that I've seen this monster, so I'm not super familiar with the pattern here yet, but we'll pick it up. Okay. keeping our distance and letting our glaring light chew down the enemies is one of the best things we can do right now. Trying to get too close, we're just going to end up taking a lot of damage. I'm going to run down here, see if we can grab a couple of these hearts before we run out of time. Phoenix was not too terribly difficult. Looks like there's some large fields of fire to watch out for, but otherwise not a difficult mini-boss at all. There we go. Okay, we're going to grab increased attack speed, we're going to grab that projectile multiplicator, and another increased attack speed. From here, I think what we're going to try to start doing is, there's a whole bunch of additional attack speeds over here that we might grab. That would also get us bursting wield, which would get us another explosion. There is a couple of nodes over here that are looking pretty respectable, because then we can grab additional projectiles, bursting wield, increased projectile range, a condition damage node, and poison shot. So I think that actually might be our next path. We're going to run up this way, and we'll probably try to reroll that increased melee damage. The multiplicator has really helped with the spread of our ice effects. This would probably benefit a little bit from an increased angle node, just to kind of spread things out a little bit. It's not really a priority though. We're doing pretty respectable damage as it is. I would like to maybe grab one more movement speed node if we can find it. I feel like Darokhin would probably do really, really well with the magic shield weapon as well. The magic shield has a very small attack range, but it does deal a very respectable, it has a protective field that pops that has a huge area of effect, and with his area of effect scaling, that's just going to do really well. So we grabbed bursting wield and increased projectile range. We just popped another projectile multiplicator, so we are probably going to grab that. Although we do want to watch our attack speed. Our attack speed is not super fast right now, although we have picked up quite a few attack speed nodes. Because Darokhin starts off with 35% decreased attack speed, even though you've picked up a ton of attack speed nodes, it does mean that you're really not attacking at the same rate that you would with some of the other characters in the game. Great, we're going to grab that projectile multiplicator, and then we're going to try to re-roll this increased melee. There we go, increase attack speed. Next level, we'll grab increased condition damage, and hopefully we'll have enough points we can grab poison shot as well. I would love it if we could reach that other area of effect node that is on the board, but I don't think that we're going to have enough points to get it before we end up facing off against the boss. It would be nice just to see how truly massive Darokhin's area of effect can get, but I just don't think we're going to have the points to be able to pull that off. With that second projectile multiplicator that we picked up, we are just sending out ice bolts in all sorts of directions, and it is really helping us spawn those explosions. Took took a little bit of damage there that I wasn't expecting, but we'll just grab one of these hearts and we'll be doing pretty well. There we go. All right, so we'll grab increased condition damage, poison shot. As for what we'll grab next level, we'll go ahead and grab this increased projectile and this increased attack speed. I doubt we'll get a third point, but if we will, we'll grab that increased area of effect. I really don't think we'll get a third point off of this. But I could be wrong. You never know. One of the things that I like about this Striving for Light game is that there are so many different ways you can build your characters. At first glance, it seems like there's only a handful of viable builds for the game, but once you really start unlocking some of the additional characters, once you start unlocking some of the other weapons in the game, there are quite a few of decent builds that you can come up with. Hopefully, as this game progresses into a official release, we will see, you know, maybe some additional builds for that. Okay, we're going to grab increased attack speed. We did not get a third node, so we'll grab additional projectile. And now we are ready to face the boss. We are fighting Devourer, who is really creepy looking. I don't know any of his abilities, so hopefully this run will go okay. He shoots out a lot of projectiles, but they are spaced fairly well. He's got a good dodge move there, so we got to watch for that. That dash is a little bit hard to get out of the way of with Darokhin, but we're dealing great damage to him right now, and it shouldn't be too much longer before the Devourer is down. And there he goes. All right. At this point, it's just a matter of finishing up the run. Got about 20 seconds left. Be sure to tune in for next episode where we try the new character that we unlocked, Halasia. Halasia has a built-in projectile multiplicator and a couple of other modifications that should make her a pretty good ranged build. So we'll see what we can do with her in the next round, Striving for Light Survival. My name is Wobblerocket. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you around.